Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Welcome back.
We're back to do another movie review for Spider-Man No Way Home. This world contains spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, uh, do not continue watching unless you don't care. If that is the case, just continue watching. We tried to give it a little bit of time. I didn't want to put a video like some other channels put early spoiler reviews. I didn't want to ruin for anybody, so we took a little while before we decided to make a video for what we watched.
Yes.
Anyways, I'm going to say the good movie overall was really good. I
Yes.
really enjoyed it.
I agree with you 100%. I thought, the performances by, the different actors, Tom Holland, Alfred Molina, Willem Dafoe, just, those actors, I thought bringing those characters back to life was really, really cool. Seeing Doc Ock on screen for the first time in almost 20 years. Same thing with the Goblin, along with the other villains, obviously, the Lizard, Sandman, Electro Man. Um, I thought it was just very awesome, and some of my favorite scenes in it. Obviously, I like the parts obviously where the villains show up. I thought the fight at the bridge between Ock and Spider-Man was pretty cool. I thought it was pretty funny how Doc Ock thinks the Spider-Man he's talking to is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, but it's not, because when he first appears, he tells him, like, "Where's my machine? Like, what have you done with it?" It's like, "What?" He's like, "What machine?" And he goes, "All right, stop messing around. You think this is funny?" And then they get into the fight. So that was cool. And then after that, when Goblin shows up, he throws the bomb. That was a cool entrance. Um, I thought too. Also, Doctor Strange seemed like, I shouldn't say the word jerk, but he just wasn't in the mood for anything. Like he basically gave Peter Parker nonsense. He's basically like, "Well, look what you've done now. I mean, you botched the spell to make everyone forget that you're Spider-Man."
But I think he's always been kind of having a little bit of it.
Yeah, but like he's never been this bad before.
I think it's probably because he's old and he's more like almost like a father figure. I shouldn't say father figure, because I think I know is more of a father figure, but I don't know how to explain. But in that role, like, he's just very serious.
He's like a mentor.
Like he thinks
a teacher.
Yeah, but he takes everything very seriously, and he doesn't seem like he has much of a sense of humor.
Yeah. Because when the villains arrive, when he traps them all inside the prison or whatever, Tom Holland, Spider-Man, wants to save them all. He doesn't want to send them back to die. But Doctor Strange obviously tells him, like it's their fate. They all die.
Like you can't change fate. It just is what it is. It was interesting. We really thought he could succeed with changing him. He almost did. I thought Willem Dafoe did a good job, like portraying, like he almost didn't want to turn bad. But it's like it was kind of like this edge where you thought there was this possibility, but it was like really didn't quite buy into it. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I thought it was really kind of cool how Willem Dafoe finally just turned bad again. Like you can't change me no matter what type of thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was good. And now Alfred Molina's Doc Ock, he continued to be good. I realized that what they were doing was really wrong, and that they could be good people.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe's Goblin didn't think so at all. He thought they were meant to be bad.
I think one of the cool scenes in it was when Osborn shows up and he talks to the other villains, and basically, the other villains like all remember like each other, like Electro like knows who Doc Ock is, and Lizard, like they all know who they all are and how they all die, which I thought was pretty cool, because when Osborn shows up, Doc Ock basically tells him like you died years ago, and then Sandman goes, "He's right," and then he goes, "It was all over the news. The Green Goblin killed by the glider," and then he says, "Doc Ock, you drowned in the river," and then Ock says, that's not true. Like I had Spider-Man by the throat. I had him, and then he was there in the MCU after. So I thought that was a very cool scene. Just getting to know the villains, each other. I thought that was pretty cool. And they also addressed how Electro is not blue anymore.
Yeah.
They did talk about that. It was because when he shows up, he took the power from the power grids. Remember when he shows up? He was blue first, but then from the power he used turned him yellow, and then he had the comic accurate look.
Yeah, that he wasn't. Yeah, which I thought was good. I think the blue character.
The blue was dumb.
Yeah, I didn't think anyone would like that. I thought how it was good how they, involved Peter's friends still, and helping the whole situation. And they didn't just they didn't have a very a small part. They weren't like in the beginning. They cut out. They would continue to make them part of the team, which I thought was really really cool. And there was a lot more human than what I was expecting. Between the different characters, it wasn't just. It was pretty much straight to the movie. There was a lot of comedic scenes, even when the part where Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man shows up. And
yes, they both end up returning after all the several months of rumors. They're back, which I thought the scene where that happened, it was funny, but it was probably one of the best moments in the entire film. Just seeing their Spider-Man back on screen for the first time in a long time, and just the way they communicate with Tom Holland's Spider-Man when they meet him. I thought that scene was very powerful because they talk about how Uncle Ben said the famous lines, with great power comes great responsibility. And then they were talking about how Andrew Garfield was talking about how Gwen Stacy died.
Yeah, so they all could kind of relate. They all have major tragedy in life, but all in the same way, but just different. The same but different. Like, Gwen Stacy and Uncle Ben's death were very similar to May's death.
Yeah, Aunt May dies in the film.
So they all could kind of relate to each other. So they could say, like, tell Peter Parker from the MC universe, like, you're not alone. We've all been through this. This is,
this is what happens to
like
us.
They all kind of relate to each other. So they weren't, they can make it through this and they'll be okay. I really liked these coolest scenes I really thought about the movie was, the Spider-Man in action together fighting the villains, which I thought was the turning point was when they really realized they had no actual teamwork. They'd never, especially the other two Spider-Man from the other movies, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, and they had never been part of any kind of team up, but they always by themselves. So now he's got to tell them, I'm part of the Avengers. Even though they don't know what that is, he's like basically like, okay, I know how to make us work as a team.
So basically, they decide to go to attack each villain one by one in order to lure them, so that way they can cure them.
Yeah, I think this scene where they were all finally gonna get, and they're like running together, and they all jump off, and they're flying right through the air or whatever. I thought that was a really cool scene, and one of the better scenes in the movie.
And then obviously when they fight Lizard, Sandman, Electro, that was a very awesome battle scene. And then I thought the part where Electro had them because he had the other two Spider-Man, and then when Doc Ock showed up he had the arms on both of them. I thought in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh no, I'm like, great, he's evil again. I'm like, they're all done now. But then Doc Ock helped them out. He stopped Electro from what he was doing and cured him. And I thought that was a very important scene. And then you just got Lizard running around like a maniac, and they finally cure him. And I thought it was another cool moment how they show Garfield talking to Electro Man, and then Maguire talking to Dr. Kirk Connors. I thought that was pretty cool, just talking to those characters for the first time, in forever. And I thought the most important scene in that battle was when Doc Ock and Tobey Maguire Spider-Man reunite for the first time. Just them two on screen. I get it wasn't that much time, but just for the two of them to interact was very, very amazing. Yeah. And then you got Doctor Strange, who comes back and he's all mad. He's like, I've been stuck on the Grand Canyon for 12 hours. And then he's like, who are the other two?
Yeah, I think, when you finally, first he was shocked that Peter was able to almost cure them. But then when Peter Parker, to Tom Holland Peter Parker, he finally said, you have to make everybody forget who I am. Like, they got a lot of respect from Doctor Strange, and he he knows he's willing to sacrifice to do what's best for everybody, not just himself. Which I,
Well, hold on, you're jumping a little bit far here. You forgot how Goblin shows up too at when they thought the battle was over. And let me just say that scene between Goblin and Tom Holland Spider-Man was absolutely amazing. I thought both of them put in a lot of work to make that fight scene happen. I thought when like he was going after Goblin, like he was punching him 1,000 times, throwing him. I thought the part where he picked up the glider, I thought for sure like he was gonna kill him for sure. That's what I thought. The moment like he bought it over his head, I'm like this is it. I'm like he's gonna die. I'm like this is gonna be awesome. But then McGuire basically spares him, like he stops him.
yeah.
And I think the reason why he might have did that was he basically said like no, like he can't, like we gotta cure him, like we can't kill him. Like it was also a lesson too, probably from, because he probably knows he killed him in his reality, so he probably didn't want to deal with that again.
He probably was thinking, killing is not always the
right answer.
The right answer, like you have to be better than that, and killing somebody is not always the best thing to do.
And so Osborn gets cured and he's back to normal. So now at this point, the multiverse starts opening up, which Strange basically says, like, they're coming through, but I can't stop them. And then Tom Holland's like, what do we do? Like, and Strange goes, there's only one way, which is everyone is going to have to forget who you are. And as much as he hates it, he's like, all right, do it. Go ahead. Do the spell. And the scene between him and MJ, I thought was a little bit, sad because, and Ned, because they're all gonna forget who he is, and it was just a really powerful, emotional scene. But even Doctor Strange at one point, I think, felt bad because when he says thanks, sir, and then he goes, just call me Steven, and then
because even he was gonna forget who Spider-Man was.
Yeah,
everybody was. So.
And so the spell gets casted. Everyone forgets who Peter Parker is. And then obviously months later, it shows Peter Parker walking through town. And then he enters the shop where MJ works. And he was about to tell her who he was. But then he kind of realized, like he needs to, move on with his life, kind of. And go on with his own life now.
So I thought he didn't tell because he wanted to spare her from any kind of danger that he might put her in by her knowing who he was because of what they went through together in the battle scene in New York. So maybe he thought, if she knows who I am again, I'm just gonna put her in danger again. So it's better to not say anything. I think that's what I thought. I mean, I think she kind of thinks something though, like there's something in the back of her mind because she because she had a weird look on her face.
Because when he said his name, when he was leaving, she looked at him as if like she kind of knew who he was, but not fully. So that leaves the door open to she might remember.
Yeah, who knows? I just we skip past the part about the death of Aunt May. I have to say that it was kind of surprising when they did that, but not.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised. I figured that
they kind of try to make it emotional. I didn't really feel any strong emotion, but I was kind of sad, but because I said, but it wasn't like over the top emotion feeling.
I just thought it was very cool, that scene where she repeats the line that Uncle Ben says to the other two, with great power comes great responsibility. She's basically telling Peter you need to make the right choices. Like it's in your power to make sure that whatever you do, you're responsible, but you do it in a great way, I guess. I don't really know.
Yeah, overall, I think the movie was good. The other end credit scene was the Venom one.
Yes.
Which I'm a little confused. So they bring Venom into the MCU.
Let me
now it's going to be gone.
But they showed some of the symbiote from...
Symbiote, it was on the bar.
So I don't know I don't know if it means that someone in the MCU will become Venom, or... I don't know. I can't really say much about that. And then the second post-credit scene, we're going to do a trailer reaction for it since it's out, but it showed a teaser trailer for the upcoming Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. We're going to have to watch the trailer because I forget some of the stuff that they show, but it shows Doctor Strange fighting some squid thing in New York, and then it's about like how when he casts the spell, like the dangers of the multiverse.
I think the squid thing was from the What If show. Because if you remember in the What If version show with Doctor Strange, remember he was pulling all these powers of all these different creatures.
The name of it is Gargantos, I think.
Yeah, but remember there was a squid-like creature thing, wasn't there? There was a dragon. There was a bunch of different creatures that he pulled in their power to become more powerful. Yeah. So that the creature was from his evil version.
And then obviously Wanda's in it. She's because of what she did at the end of WandaVision.
Right.
For those that know, and I thought another cool thing they showed was Doctor Strange is going to meet an evil version of himself.
Yeah, which comes from like the What If thing.
It seems like they're taking a lot of that and throwing it into that. But like I said, we're gonna do a trailer reaction for that, so all of you can stay tuned for that soon. Mm-hmm. That's if we even have the time for it.
Yeah. So I think that's going to wrap it up for this video. If you haven't seen,
actually, wait a minute, we forgot to mention. The guy from Netflix, Matt Murdock, was in the film too.
That's right. Beginning with Matt Murdock shows up, so he's Daredevil. So
yeah, he's back in the MCU.
So they're gonna have him show up eventually, apparently, because they're gonna try to work him in. I don't know how they're gonna do it.
Yeah, he ends up having like a 2-minute thing with Peter. He ends up getting Peter's charges dropped, but at the same time, he tells Happy that now he's under investigation for some problems.
But since Spider-Man wasn't known at all now, so what is it? What happens to all that? I don't know.
And not to mention, they did tease him as Daredevil because someone throws a brick and then he catches it really fast, and then Peter goes, "How on earth did you do that quick?" And then he goes, "I'm a really good lawyer."
Yeah, so I guess we'll have to wait and see.
But sorry for the long review. It's just a really long movie. We're trying to get as much out, but overall, it was a really fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it yet, get tickets and go watch it because it's really amazing. But if you've seen it, let us know down below what your thoughts were, what you think is next for Peter Parker, and if you plan on watching it again. I don't know if I will.
I don't know.
I probably will.
I don't know, maybe.
We'll wait till it's on Disney Plus.
Yeah. So anyways, I think you want to wrap up this video. We appreciate you guys tuning in to check out our video, so hit that like and subscribe.
Until next time.